Hi, this is Mellowism, and this is a short guide on how to begin with WARCRAFT logs. So you have received a link to a log from a raid you participated in, and when you click it you see a lot of different information. If you are DPS or healer, it's pretty easy to see at least if you're high up on the list or down at the bottom. So if you look at me in this example, who is Wooladin, you can see that I'm pretty far behind in DPS compared to the ones on top. So I'm pretty new to playing Retribution Paladin. I've been following some guides on YouTube and on some other World of Warcraft sites, but using WARCRAFT logs to compare myself to other Retribution Paladins who might do it better than me, I believe is the best way to learn your character. You learn better what to do on specific bosses or raids or even dungeons, and you can easily see what you've done wrong, what you can do better, and better learn how to play your character. So I begin with checking the damage done for the specific fight, and I now see that there are some more specific information provided. For example, performance percentage, item level percentage, and active. I'm at 98.92% active, which is pretty good, I guess. I've had some downtime compared to the druid on top, so I can definitely improve on that, but not at all bad. The performance percentage is your overall performance compared to every other player of the same class and spec as you that has logged a fight at WARCRAFT logs the last 2 weeks. 100% is the highest and means that you have done the most damage of all. So I'm here at 48%, which means I've done pretty average amount of damage to Nithendra on Heroic, which is the fight we're looking at here. I've done more damage than 48% of the Retribution Paladins at this boss. However, if I look over at item level percentage, I'm only at 27%. So I've only done more damage than 27% of the other Paladins at this boss, that have the same item level as me. Now this is more interesting. I had item level 889 in this fight, which is pretty high on Nithendra Heroic, so that explains how I could do more damage than the other 48%, since most of the players here have lower item level than that. So what are the reasons I'm only at 27% compared to the other players? Well, the most important things are, of course, is my rotation off? When did I pop my cooldowns? Do I have correct stats on my gear? How much artifact levels do I have compared to the others? Have I chosen the correct talents? What legendary items and set pieces do I have compared to the others, and so forth. So let's compare me to someone who has done it way better than me here. Up on the right you have compare. Here you can compare full reports, or if you want to compare yourself to another player within the same log, or, as in my case where I want to learn from paladins that have done it better than me, I can use the third option and compare myself to them by choosing myself in the drop down menu. I suggest leaving everything else as default and just press search. Now I got a list of other Retribution Paladins who have fought Nithendra and Heroic on similar fights, but done way more damage than me. So I just choose the first one and have a look at what the differences are. Alright, looking at the graph, I can see that Sylgius, in this case, have been over me in damage almost the entire fight. So scrolling down I can see what ability Sylgius used, and immediately I can see that my Templar's Verdict doesn't do nearly enough damage as his does. Unfortunately, I can't see the number of cast by me for some reason, but I do believe I use it as often as possible. So here might be a big difference in stats. Alright, he has more damage with Blade of Justice than his Judgment, and for me it's the opposite. And he has more casts of it as well, so I really have to start using that as soon as it procs, I guess. Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish do some damage, so that's the legendary trinket that I don't have. A neck enchant that I don't have, and he's used his defensive cooldown ones as well, that do some damage. I guess I should get another neck enchant for my DPS spec. So furthermore I can compare us on, for example, what did we take damage from, which healing spells did we use, and so forth. But the most important thing here is to have a look at the summary and compare the characters. So first of all, the stats. Now here's a main difference in the amount of strength. Ret is my off spec, so some of my gear pieces are from my main spec, which is Protection Paladin. I guess that makes my gear not optimal for damage. Although I have more crit and haste, the amount of strength for sure increases his damage compared to mine. Comparing talents, there isn't that much difference. I have Fist of Justice and Cavalier instead of his Binding Light and Divine Intervention, but that don't count towards damage, so that doesn't matter. Okay, here's one of the main differences. He's at artifact level 54 and I just hit my 35. That's 10% more base damage than me just there. Looking at the gear, he definitely has better DPS gear than me. He has 2 really good legendaries and he has the 4 set pieces. Alright, so the conclusion here is that my rotation could use some fine tuning. I have to focus on using Blade of Justice as soon as it procs. But the main difference here is of course the stats on my gear. I need better legendaries and set pieces, and I need to increase my artifact level to be able to increase my item level percentage for the next time I'm at this boss. To get an even better understanding of what I can do better, I should compare myself to more players. As long as item level percentage isn't at 100%, there's always room for improvement. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe.